Good morning and welcome to the EZFX Trading Room broadcast for Monday, September 12th, 2016. My name is Bradley Freed, and for the next 20 to 30 minutes, you'll be joining me for a broadcast where we review our watch list from last Thursday. And we're going to update these trades, review what happened in the final days of the last trading week. And we're also going to look at new setups that we're watching that are coming up this week or maybe even beyond. But let's go ahead and get right into it. If you have any questions and you're watching the broadcast live, we do have a chat room on this page. You can post your questions during the broadcast and I will answer them live at the end. If you're watching the recording, please feel free to either send me a private message or post to the trading room group on the community menu, or you can also send me an email at ezfxsignal@gmail.com. I'll do my best to get back to you within 24 hours. All right, so let's go ahead and get started by reviewing the watch list from Thursday. If you want to look at the closed trades, just go to the Signals blog and you can see all the closed trades. I'm not going to go through those right now. We're just going to look at the new and open trades at this time. So as of Thursday, the dollar peso buy was a new trade. New Z dollar sell was open. Euro New Z buy was open. Those were not signal trades. Then we also had the New Z yen sell, which was open, Euro pound buy open, pound Swiss sell, pound yen sell, dollar Swiss sell, which was not a signal trade, and then Aussie CAD buy. Those were all open trades. So starting with those, actually, I want to start with a watch list first. So let's jump over the charts. I'll talk about what I'm watching first, the new stuff, and then we'll go through what happened with the new and open trades. And if there was anything that was really urgent, I would go to that first with any open trades, but there's just not right now. So let's kind of take our time and look at all of this. Okay, so what am I looking at? I talked about most of the trades I'm looking at in the market analysis report that I released last night. If you've had a chance to look at that, great. If you haven't, I encourage you to go to the market analysis menu and you can see the report for 9/11. And that will be there. The first one I'm looking at is the you have to remember on these trades, if you studied the course, that we're looking for extreme things to happen. When extreme things happen, they create the preconditions for a retracement. And that's what's happening on the Aussie dollar. We had a nice win trade in the buy direction where we made some money, and then this thing dropped like a rock. It's back in this old Class A zone down here, and it's still moving lower. So I've drawn a trend line over price. We have a buy bubble, excuse me, that's forming on price. And it's either going to break this trend line and set up a buy from within this zone and maybe move within a range here, or it's going to break through the zone and go even lower. And we just don't know yet because it hasn't completed yet. But we have a Class A demand zone. We have a buy bubble. And we've drawn a pretty good trend line. I kind of like that trend line more and more as I retrace it and it moves along. So as those things come together, we may see a buy set up on this. So I'm going to add this to our list. Aussie dollar buy. And we're just watching that right now. Dollar peso sell, same thing. The dollar keeps moving in a very straight direction vis-a-vis this currency pair. We have a sell bubble that's forming. It's a very long bubble. So this pair is trending at an extremely fast pace. And I'll look for a sell trade to set up on this eventually. Sell bubble, where we have a Class A supply zone here. It's kind of a thick zone, so it would actually be nice if that got knocked off the chart because I don't like thick zones. But and we have a nice trend line. So given all those factors, and we can even redraw that. I sort of like to have a shallower angle on the trend line, so we might do something like that, just to give us a good place to measure when an entry might be setting up. But we'll go ahead and add this dollar peso sell to our watch list as well. Moving right along, pound Aussie, same story, sell bubble, trend line. We don't have a Class A zone yet. We have Class B divergence, but no Class A zone. But this is also trending beyond the previous highs here. It's moving above that. So this could go on for quite a while, but I'll be looking for a sell trade on this. So pound Aussie sell. Then Aussie Swiss buy, same thing. Buy bubble, no zone, good trend line. An extreme move beyond the previous range. Probably going back to the zone down here, where it might bounce or it might go further. But looking for a buy trade to set up on this in the near future. Aussie Swiss buy. Keep in mind, these are not ready to trade yet. These are things we're watching for, all the things that we need to set up to confirm a trade. And just seeing the bubble, that's a good starting point. If you don't know what's going on, look for the bubbles, and then prepare to trade in the direction indicated by the bubbles. So we have a sell bubble here. We prepared to trade in the sell direction. Dollar CAD is returning to a previous Class A supply zone. It has a sell bubble. We've drawn a pretty good trend line down here under this part of the trend, and it's kind of moved more extremely. I'm going to keep the trend line where it is, and we're just going to wait for the other confirming things we need in a mean reversion trade setup to appear. Dollar CAD sell. I've stayed away from the dollar CAD, but I have had some luck with it lately. Okay, Euro Aussie sell. This has set up a sell bubble. Our initial trend line has kind of been punched through. We have Class B divergence. I would not be ready to trade this yet. I want to see more because this is such an extreme trend. Everything else is still trending. This just happened to punch the trend line, but it may range for a while. It may produce a Class A supply zone, or it may keep trending higher. There's a monthly pivot, July monthly pivot right up here that it seems to be moving towards. So I'm just going to put this on our list right now and watch it. We just came off, and I made this point in the report as well, we just came off a really profitable week of trading. It's easy to get exuberant and just start jumping into things because you want to keep that going. But that's the time you have to step back and review your rules and say, okay, I'm going to keep trading, but I'm going to be really strict about the rules. I'm going to review the rules. I'm not going to bend the rules. I'm going to I'd rather miss a trade than get in a bad trade. And just kind of settle yourself down so you don't let emotion take over and cause you to give back everything that we made during a good week. And finally, Newsy dollar. I think that's the last one. Yeah, Newsy dollar buy. This pair has dropped pretty precipitously, setting up a buy bubble. And we have Class B divergence and a pretty good trend line. I could also revise this trend line, make it a little bit more shallow angle, kind of changing the wicks that it's on. And I may revise this a few more times before we actually get in a trade. I don't have a Class A demand zone yet, so some more things I'd like to see on this pair before I trade it. But this also goes in the watch list, Newsy dollar buy. And that's everything I'm watching. That's it. And that's going to be my focus this week. So more updates later in the form of signals and other updates on the trading room later in the week. New and open trades. Let's look at the dollar peso buy real quick. We kind of already did look at that. This buy trade did set up. Waited for this candle to close. Unfortunately, it was a big candle, so you would have needed a 220 pip stop to get into it. And the initial weekly pivot here wouldn't have been enough of a target to go for. So you would have had to go further, like for 325, and then the bottom of the zone here for 584. It did do that. And now that's done. So we didn't really talk about specifics for this setup. I didn't send a signal on it, but I would say your maximum pips. And again, this is not something that I set up. It's really not fair to talk about a result, but you could have probably taken 580 pips off of this trade. But we'll call it closed. It would have been a winner. 580 pips profit when it was not a signal trade. This was not something I sent out. All right, New Z dollar sell. And to be honest, I mean, with over 150 pips, you know, the required stop was large, so I just kind of stayed away from it. I don't like to trade things that have a stop over 150 pips. That's just my own personal thing. But you could have. The trade size would have been small, and you would have had big targets, but it did do it. It's a good pair for this system. And now we're looking, as I said, at a sell trade setting up. Okay, New Z dollar sell. That was another open trade. This moved right along. It hit the planned target. So entry right here on this candle. Stop above the zone for 65 pips of stop. Initial profit target of 88, greater than 1-to-1, and final profit target of 137, greater than 2-to-1. And it did get there. So 137 pips of profit, and this is done. Next to Euro New Z buy. This is one that I kind of wish I'd been paying closer attention to because it did set up beautifully. It hit its final profit target. This is done. The stop was below the Class A demand zone for, you know, maybe 98 pips. Initial profit target of 200, final profit target of 290. And that's done. Next, we have had a New Z yen sell, and that's still open actually. Let's just take a look at that real quick. I closed several trades at the end of the week just because they were kind of giving signs that they might be reversing. This was not one of them. This had started to break through this support line here, and it actually moved a lot lower overnight. And I don't think it'll have any problem potentially getting to this monthly pivot down here at 74.05. So I'm still sticking to the plan. This trade is still open, and I think it's on its way to its initial profit target. So you have a euro pound buy open. That is also still open. You know, the pound Swiss, and I wrote about this in the report last night, but the pound Swiss kind of set up an opposite Class A zone, and then it had a TMA color change. So that's a closed signal. So I went ahead and took profit on that. It didn't get anywhere near the initial profit target before I did that. It may move lower later, but those are, according to my rules, and especially on a Friday when we haven't moved our stop to break even, I went ahead and took profit on that for like 155 pips. And that's done. But we didn't get, even though this is kind of the mirror image of that, we didn't get a close signal on this pair. So I kept it open. I drew a line above the candles, kind of a support level here. It did kind of break through that overnight and it's retraced a bit. I still think you can get up to this monthly pivot at 0.8518. So I'm holding on to that as an open trade. And we'll just keep it on our list as open. Let's look at the pound Swiss next. Pound Swiss sell. And let's look at that a little bit. 155 pips of profit. And we got in on the trend line break. We had a stop of like 74. It moved down pretty fast towards the monthly pivot, and then it retraced and started moving sideways. And when we got this Class A zone, that's when I got out. And that trade was finished. It's a win, and I'll confirm the pips and put that on the list a little later. Pound yen sell. This is another one I closed out. We had a triangular moving average color change that was a early exit signal on a Friday night. Stop was at break even, but I figured, you know, if this is moving, it was moving pretty fast towards the stop, so I went ahead and took profit on it and booked a win. That we'd already had taken profit on part of the trade and made 150 pips on that. So that was the maximum amount of profit we took before closing it out. See, dollar Swiss sell is our next trade. And that's when I also was not paying real close attention to last week. This did fall, hit its initial profit target. It's retraced. It produced a triangle moving average color change, which was an early exit signal. So you would be out of this after that triangle moving average color change, according to our rules, and you would have taken 95 pips at the first target. And this was not a signal trade. AutoCAD buy. This hit its first profit target, and then it hit its break-even stop. So part of it stopped out at a small loss because of spread, or at break-even at zero loss. And we took 105 pips at the first target. So this is also done. And that's it. That's our updates for the week. This matches, I think, our report, except for there's 2 additional trades I'm watching now that I didn't put in the report last night. So this is where we're at. We're watching these 7 setups, and we have 2 open trades, and we've closed all this stuff for an awful lot of profit, to be honest with you. And I could have traded more last week on the signals, but I was pretty happy with my plan and managing my own energy levels to make sure that I could be focused and follow the procedures and everything. So I'm pretty happy with where we ended up, and looking forward to more profitable setups in the near future. Let's just go ahead and check real quick if there's any questions in the chat room before we sign off. See that Gloria is attending live. Welcome, Gloria. Thanks for watching. I don't have any questions yet. So if you do have any questions, again, like I said, you can go to the community menu. You can find me and members. I'm EZFX. You can send me a private message. You can join the trading room group. And there's also a link right here to the trading room group. And you can post questions there. You can post charts. You can post trade ideas. Just use that as your own personal place to talk about these trades and ask questions, and hopefully interact with other members who are also signed in and participating in that group. And you can also send me a good old-fashioned email at ezfxsignal@gmail.com. Always happy to get your questions and answer any questions that you may have. Have a great trading week, and we'll be back tomorrow with another edition of the EZFX Trading Room broadcast tomorrow morning, same time, and hope to see you there. Take care. Bye.